Sometimes telling you all this history of our region, it hurts. You know, I love telling history to people that don't know it. But when you visit and touch historical moments like this and realize the severance of the progress of time that was caused by the psychospico and the colonialism, it really hurts. And we can only better ourselves by imagining a way out of this. How can we go back to this moment of unity, of economic strength against our colonizers? Hey everybody, this is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV, and we are in Tripoli, Tarablos in Arabic, the second largest city in Lebanon, and its most northern port city on the Mediterranean. Before we continue with this report, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this content. Today, we are going to do our first ever tour of Tripoli. Most of our coverage has been over the last year and a half of the southern parts of Lebanon, where much of the attacks by the Zionists have been concentrated. We decided to come to Tripoli today because the city has been in the news cycle, specifically because Emperor Trump's envoy Barak threatened to hand over Tripoli to the HTS Wahhabi Death-Squads in Syria if Lebanon does not disarm Hezbollah and take away the weapons of the resistance. So we're going to do a quick tour of the city, give you a background of its history, and talk about the current political atmosphere that is surrounding the city. And we hope that you'll discover this beautiful city with us and why it is now becoming a target of the imperialist plots. Tripoli is one of the oldest cities on the Mediterranean. In fact, it goes back to the 14th century BC. This is what most of the historians date as the beginning of the Phoenician Canaanite city of Tripoli. Before that, it was a center for the Bronze Age and even the Stone Age. There's caves right across south from the port here, where there is archaeological sites of Stone Age use of these caves on the beach. The original name of Tripoli was Athar. That was the Canaanite Phoenician name of it. At one point, the three principalities or city-states, Phoenician city-states of Arwad, the island across from Tartus in Syria, and both Saida and Sur, Tyre and Sidon, created a federation, and they built the capital of this federation on this site. And this is why it's called, by the Greeks, it got to be called Tripolis, the three cities together. This is the original of the name Tripoli, where it comes from. And the Greeks eventually also named another location in Libya as Tripoli. And this is why in Arabic we differentiate between Tripoli and Libya. We'll call it Tarablos al-Gharb, Tripoli of the West, and Tarablos al-Sham, or Tripoli of Syria, Greater Syria, the Levant, which is here in Lebanon. The city was the most important port in what is now called Lebanon. Prior to the separation of Lebanon from Syria by the French, this used to be the port that the majority of the hinterlands of Syria, Homs and Hama, get their trade through. And the French deliberately handed and counted Tripoli as part of what Lebanon becomes in order to damage the main cities of Syria and force them to trade through longer routes to Tartus and Latakia to be able to export. And that happened also. The French did this similar tactic against Aleppo by handing over Iskandaron province and Iskandaron city to the Turks in 1930 against the will of the people of Iskandaron that were part of Syria. So the idea was by the French to cut off the hinterland, the two major cities, the three major cities of Syria, Aleppo, Damascus, and Homs from their port cities, and make the export of products from Syria a much more expensive endeavor. طيب Hadi? Good? Like it, Hadi?
You can't actually come to Tripoli without trying halawat al-jibn. I don't know how it's translated in English. You should find the translation.
Halawat al-jibn?
Yes.
Cheese sweet.
That's literal.
Translation.
But this sweet, this Lebanese sweet, it's a traditional sweet here in Tripoli. People like it so much. And you can find it in Beirut, in Saida, and in other places also. You know, it's done in different ways. But here you have the authentic flavor of it.
You have the cream right there on top. You have that dough and pistachios.
This is a special
Kind of dough, huh?
kind of. It's done by rice.
Yeah, and it's almost tastes like a crepe, but from rice instead of wheat. And of course, you know, our Lebanese audience are gonna hate me a little bit, but this is originally from Aleppo, guys. Okay, and but it's usually like made into a finger that's stuffed with the ishta, the cream inside it. Okay, so here the Lebanese, they just cut it up, lay it on top of each
Aleppo is
other.
known for baklawa and halawat al-jibn, but not the same flavor.
Yes.
Here in Tripoli, it has a bit of different flavor, and I can prove it because here Tripoli was known historically by having orange.
Yes.
And this is why the name of the
Al-Fayha.
the good smelling Tripoli, right?
Yes.
So
because
this is why you always have the zahar laymoon.
The orange blossoms.
The orange blossom. Usually it's mixed with this, and you have it all the time on this.
In the syrup.
Yes, they put it this way. You have this special sweetness. It's from the orange blossom syrup, and sometimes they put even pieces of the blossom.
Yes, but you know,
It's a different flavor.
We'll let it pass.
That's okay.
We'll let it pass.
أوف 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 يا باي يا باي يا باي مش عليك ولا علي اللوم، اللوم على عيون اللي عليك دلوني يا حبيبي.
We are at the old train station of Tripoli on the Hijaz line. This used to go from Istanbul all the way to Mecca. And this line is the coastal line that would have passed through all the coastal cities in Syria, Latakia, Tartus, then Tripoli, then Beirut, then down to Sur, and all the way to Jaffa. That would have been the coastal line, and we can see some of the old locomotives right there. And these are the buildings where the mechanics would have been fixing the trains, and the actual train station is somewhere here. I don't know which one of these buildings was the train station where the people buying tickets would be, but as you can see, some of the old steam trains. Here's another one. Wow. You know, when I used to go visit my grandmother in Damascus, they lived right beside the Hijaz train station in Damascus. And up until the late 80s, a train exactly like this one would pass beside her home, and the smoke will bellow up, and you could imagine the apartment, the ceilings would be turned black from the soot that they have to clean at least once a month because of the smoke from these trains. Shows you the importance of Tripoli in the old days before the forced separation from Syria, and the decline, the economic decline of Tripoli as a result of these colonial machinations by the French and the British. Wow. You know, one funny story I'm going to say here before we come here, come, Hadi. You know, wow.
Like this.
This is where they would throw the coal.
Oh yes, this is for the coal.
But you know, a funny story is when we were kids, we took this train from Damascus to Bludan, which is one of the countryside resort areas in Damascus city. And the train actually came off the train tracks. And the train conductor called on all the passengers to come out and push the train back on the train tracks. This actually happened in the early 80s in Syria during my summer times visiting my family. One day, once colonialism is defeated here, once Zionism is defeated in our region, we will be able to rebuild these train tracks and connect all the major cities of Greater Syria once more, so we can travel easily and our economies can be revived. Sometimes telling you all this history of our region, it hurts. You know, I love telling history to people that don't know it. But when you visit and touch historical moments like this and realize the severance of the progress of time that was caused by the Psychospico and the colonialism, it really hurts. And we can only better ourselves by imagining a way out of this. How can we go back to this moment of unity, of economic strength against our colonizers? العفو. كيفكم؟ So we are in Masbant Awaida, which is a soap factory, one of the oldest here in Tripoli, and we have the pleasure to talk to Husni Awaida, the current manager of this company. Husni, thank you very much for having us for these quick questions.
You're most welcome.
First off, 1880 until now, you must be doing something special with your soap for people to still be coming here for this product.
I'm the fourth generation of this business. It's the oldest and biggest soap factory in the region. Yes, it is a special factory because you can see all the details that take you back 150 years ago in all the details. I mean about the details, the big pot, 5 tons capacity pot that we used to do the same traditional handmade soap without changing anything in every single detail in it.
And Tripoli has that history of soap making, like Nablus in Palestine or Aleppo in Syria. Why do you think Tripoli was the center for soap making?
Tripoli is very famous as a soap manufacturer because it is on the coast and the weather of Tripoli fits perfectly the soap. So the Aleppo soap, the Tripolitan soap, and the Nabulsi soap are 600 years old, and they are famous not only in the region, everywhere in the world.
We can see still people making the soap here. That's, I guess, a little bit of modern machineries for pressing the soap.
We started lately, the couple years ago, to enter to put some machines which are very basic, just to help us in terms of time, but it will not affect that the soap is still 100% handmade and natural. So we did not include machines in doing the soap, but we include machines in wrapping the soap maybe, which will make us faster in delivering all the orders we have.
And there's so many different fragrances. Originally, in the old days, it was only olive oil,
Exactly.
And then they may have added lavender, but now we have this huge collection for all the tastes
This
from
is
anybody.
true. Long time ago, we had only one soap type only, which is the pit olive oil. It was only one weight, one soap bar, one shape, and one line of production, which is called the Nasir. Later on, the last 10 years, we are in like 100 variety, many lines. It goes from the Baladi line, the traditional one, and it goes to the aromated soaps, which are in many flavors. Later on, the liquid soap. We even go for the artisanal line, which serves all the occasional events like end of year gift, Christmas gift, Eid Fitr, Eid Adha, end of year gifts. So many different variety, and the best seller is the loofah glycerine soap. It's 2-in-1 exfoliating and the glycerine enriching the skin. So many new items for nowadays.
Well, thank you very much. Inshallah, your company and your work continues lifting the name of Tarablos, and inshallah all the people that are working here. Allah yahmiyakum wa yaqwikum.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. So this is the press for the soap, and some of the stamps that have the names of, I guess, the kinds of soap or the brands. هدول عيال تبع طرابلس. We have behind us here some historic soap that's at least 100 years old, each one of these. And you can see the names of the families: Qublan, Taha, Manla, Jawhara, and apparently the local families would bring their own olive harvest, and the soap factory here would press their personal olives and make their own soap from it. What a great time it must have been. Now there's nothing personalized in life anymore. Okay, so this is the vat where they make the soap, and down there is an old river in the basement that passes through where they used to take water out to make the soap.
هاي الطبخة الطازة اللي كانت من فترة اثنينكم طبخوها بالحلة هي والناصر. الناصر اوريدي في استاذ حسني شرح لكم عليها. هي من البيت اوليف اويل، بتعطي كوانتيتي كثير كبيرة من البارز تبعون الصوب، وانطبخت بهالحلة. وبعدها هي الصابونة الوحيدة من البلدي اللي نحن بنطبخه بنعمل لها ستامب. من هون بيكون مكتوب الناصر، وإيتش صوب بيكونوا على الأرض بدهم يكونوا مفروضين بيعملوا ستامب بهيدي. فهلا حارجيكم. هلا هيدا غار، اوكي؟ اذا بتلاحظوا الكولر تاعه عم بيصير على البراون اكثر. ليش؟ لانه هذا كل ما نشف كل ما صار لونه قريب هيدا اكثر. اوكي؟ لازم يعني من هون بتعرف انت انه هيدا غاري عن جد الاصلي من خلال اللون، انه بيكون هو اصلا عم بيصير بني، اللي هو بعد شهرين 3 اشهر ماكسيموم فيك تكون عم تستخدمه، قبل ما فيك تكون عم تستخدم الصابون البلدي. اوكي؟ تيكون عم بينشف مزبوط. هول امباريش كانوا يفركوا الصابون بهالسبيس كلها. اوكي؟ هلا اذا كمان شوي بدك الارض بتزحت لانه الطبخ كان هون، هلا من فتره مد الصابون هون. هيدي السبيس كلها كان يمد فيها الصابون، فهيدا الكوانتيتي طلعت من هيدي السبيس. اوكي؟ واو. هلا عندنا شغلتين. اول شيء هن مقسمينها لانها سبيس كبيره، فمقسمينها لكذا سبيس مش بهدول. اول شيء هدول موجودين تا ما يكون، لانه هو بيكون اسيته ليكويد، مشان ما يفلت الصابون مثل ما بيقولوا بيضربوه بهالطريقه بهدول الخشبات، وبنفس الوقت يمرقوا بين يعني يلحقوا يمرقوا على كل الصوب الموجودين بهالسبيس، بيقدروا يمرقوا بيه على هدول. وان بليس كانوا يعني بهالطريقه يمرقوا من بلوك لبلوك، يعني من محل لمحل على
في مسكه هون.
صح مزبوط. فكان يمد الصابون هون، وفي هيدي التول، هيدي من الفتره تبعهم. اوكي؟ اذا بتلاحظوا الارض كيف كارويات، هيدي تاعت الصابون هيك. هلا هيدي التول اللي بيشوفها بيقول انه اوكي يمكن زلمتين بيقدروا مثلا، هيك كان بحاجه لزلم يعني شي 7 زلم تيكونوا عم يقدروا بس يشحطوها. حيكون انه في شباب حتكون واقفه من ورا الخشب من هونيك وعلى الخشبات هونيك، وفي حبل معلق بالحيط هونيك، حبل كثير قديم. اوكي؟ كان ينربط من هون ويربط من هون ويجروها بطريقه ستريت تكون عم تقص الصابون. طبعا الطبخه مش دايركتلي بتنقص، يعني مثلا انا اليوم صبيتها بالارض قصيتها ليكويد، يعني انا بدي انطر يومين حسب الطقس، يعني يومين ماكسيموم تكون شوي طريه تقدر عم قصها. اوكي؟ وبنفس الوقت بس هي طريه بس قصيتها انا بقدر عم بعمل ستامب لكل صابونه بصابونتها. يعني تخيل
We can see the stamps here that they used to make shapes of the soap. This one is a flower. This one is another kind of flower, different shapes. And by the way, this is the Syrian wooden slipper. It's called ubab. It's like what the Japanese used to wear And of course, it's because in the old days there was sewer and water everywhere, and you wanted to be high up over the streets, just like in Japan. And everybody would carry one of these with them, with their horse, because this is what you will put in the wall and tie your horse when there was no cars before. And so you need one of these, just like having a key for the car. Well, this was a beautiful soap factory in Trablos. We hope you to visit it also if you come to the city.
اوف 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 يا باي يا باي يا باي.
So we are at the entrance of Tripoli Fort. We're late.
Yes, we are late.
So because Hadi really wanted to show you guys the soap factory, which was one of a kind, amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely the smells. We wish there's a smell-o-vision on television that...
Yeah, the smell was fascinating, and the best part of it is that you never plan it. We were walking, we had this smell, this very special smell, and we started looking and we found the soap factory. It was very important to show people this historical factory that belongs, of course, to the culture of this city. And you also have other parts of the city where also they make soap. You have Khan al-Sabun. Maybe later, inshallah, of course, one trip to Tripoli won't be able to show people
So two things we have to say here.
everything.
Is that Europeans didn't have soap. When the Crusaders arrived, they stank like hell.
Okay.
And it was the people of Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine that taught them how to use soap. And France loves to talk about perfume, also didn't know how to make perfume. And the most famous perfume makers in the world were in Damascus and Syria, and actually exported perfume to Europe. The first perfume factory in Europe is in Cologne, Germany, opened by a Syrian who migrated there in the 1700s, early 1700s. And that's why we have the name Eau de Cologne, because of that factory.
Okay.
And behind this is the fort of Tripoli. It is a Crusader fort. It is the largest, still complete Crusader fort across the whole East Mediterranean. And if you didn't know, the Crusaders built these forts on top of hills. They are a distance of a sight away from each other, so they can signal each other all the way from Iskenderun in now Turkey, occupied parts of Syria, all the way down to Jaffa.
We had the famous castle of Aleppo also. It was one of the biggest castles.
But that's not a Crusader castle.
Aleppo is not.
No, it's one of the oldest. That mound where the fort is on top of is in itself is considered kind of one of the old wonders of the world.
Okay.
Because it's a human-made mound. Before people made pyramids.
No, I know this is very old. I think it's one of the oldest castles. Usually when you talk in military about the strategy of the war of castles, you have the castle of
yes,
Aleppo.
the Crusaders built on top.
So they built on top of it.
Yes, but before that it was Roman, Greek, Canaanite, all the way to the Iron Age, when that mound was actually made in the old ways of before people started making pyramids as a way to, mark a place.
Engineered mountain, basically.
Yes.
So this brings us to the thing, the political thing now, that Of course, Aleppo is being now governed by HTS, as the entire Syrian territories, basically the main, at least the territories that are around Lebanon, and they are threatening, in parallel with Barak's threats. Also, they want to annex Tripoli, and they want to have Tripoli part of the Damascus government.
It's really crazy that 100 years ago, in the 1920s, was the heydays of Syrian unificationist, Syrian nationalist movement, and the French, the British fought the Syrian nationalists and opposed them and killed them all, including the founder of the SSNP,
Anton
Saadi, that was assassinated, killed here within one day of his trial, show trial that the French put together. And now, 100 years later, it is the colonialists that are talking about unification of Syria, but not under democratic, secular, multi-faith unification, but under a Wahhabi death cult that is
controlling, governing Damascus. Yes, for me, I understand this as a part of a bigger project, a project to divide Syria into many states, that each part of the new Syria that they want to do it. It's not, and we hope that they will never be able to accomplish this evil project, but they want to divide Syria into a coastline, more central area, with the north of Syria might be added and annexed, of course, by Turkey. This is a very important accomplishment for Turkey to have this, and they want to leave Damascus, of course, after giving the south of Syria, to some of it to Jordan and most of it to be occupied by the Israeli forces, the Israeli occupation army. And now they are already starting this. Some things even don't need to be explained. You are already seeing what's happening by the Turkish, by the Israelis, and what's happening in the coast. By what's happening in the coast, I mean the massacres that prove that the government, the new HTS government in Damascus, don't consider the people of the coast as Syrians like everyone else. This is why they did these massacres, and they are still committing these massacres, but it's not being covered by the media. They want Tripoli because if this happened, Damascus will lose access to the sea. And it's not, this is why it's not only an imaginary thing. It's not some wide imagination of the new revolutionists in Syria who are stating this only to become like, to prove that they are, very willing to change things and to bring new territories to Syria. They are serious in this, because Tripoli is very important for Syria, and it fits the historic context, because historically Tripoli was part of the Damascus government.
Yes.
I remember the great Ziad al-Rahbani, once we were I was in a group, and he was discussing Tripoli, because back then there was lots of fighting happening in Tripoli by the Syrian, basically they were Syrian terrorists. They were coming here and making problems and shooting, and it later discovered that this was a part of a cover when they used to bring weapon and smuggle weapon using this same port where we were standing 2 hours ago. They used to cover it by making problems, attacking the Lebanese army, firing, and doing this show that costs like hundreds of thousands of bullets and RPGs and everything, to smuggle these weapons to Syria through this port. So this is what was planned, because I remember Ziad telling us that before the 70s, when they used and the 80s, when they used to send a letter to Trablus, they used to say like Trablus al-Sham, Trablus of the Levant.
Yes.
They put on the stamp on the postcard, Trablus of the Levant. So he was saying like, this is because Ziad was always, he was always insightful about the future. He used to,
everybody here would love unification, but not under those conditions.
Now unification is
inclusive,
yes.
and not a sectarian unification that's going to lead to the killing of people. One thing that we need to note here is that the population of Tripoli is mainly Sunni. There is Alawites on the edges of the city, there is Christians inside the city, but it's mainly Sunni population. And as we said in the beginning of this recording, the Tripoli used to be one of the richest cities because it was the most important port on the Mediterranean, the East Mediterranean.
Yes.
And the number one, the chopping off of Lebanon from Syria destroyed this economy because no more the big cities of Syria needed Tripoli for their export. And as we can see here, now that the city is in a really bad shape. There's a lot of ghettos, and the population has been impoverished, not only because of the colonial machinations of the French, but also because of the deliberate ill management of the city by the state of Lebanon.
Of course, and this was intentional. Historically, the impoverishment of the areas that do not belong to the center of Lebanon, the central area like Mount Lebanon and the extended Mount Lebanon, it was meant to stay and to happen in order to keep the power centered among certain groups and not certain sects, by the way.
Yeah.
Because even in those sects, in the Maronites and in the Druze sects, you could find poverty and discrimination to exactly like this is happening
Around class lines.
But it was of course they used to claim that this is based on sectarian things to make people think that this is all of
and Tripoli has at least 4 billionaires. Four billionaires.
The biggest billionaires in Lebanon
come from this city.
Come from the city. We can name them,
they
but people
are
can
not. And of course, one of them is the Miqati, the former prime minister.
And they were prime ministers.
Yeah.
And Safadi was also a foreign minister, and he was named for prime minister. So it's not it's not only like a city there with no chances, no opportunities, but there is. We were walking on the beach. We saw how
beautiful
the beach is exactly like you would think that it would be the most beautiful beach in the Mediterranean.
There is no development, and of course, one of the reasons that they are purposefully impoverishing the population of Tripoli is to make them easy catch for terrorist organizations, so they can recruit them into these wars, send them out on boats to Europe to become cheap labor.
This is how they look to the people here. They look to the people here as a part of some death squads that they want to start. This is why they invest a lot on Wahhabism and Wahhabi mosques lately. Lately they invested this. Tripoli has Sunni population, but has also Christian population, Alawite population, Shia population. Many villages outside the main city of Tripoli are Shia, and Shia from centuries.
Yeah.
And so it's not true that this place is like from one color, but they boosted this Wahhabism here because the government is not playing its role in monitoring what's happening and in making sure that what's being here discussed or what's being promoted as culture And of course, we're talking about Wahhabism, we're talking about Saudi influence, Qatari influence, and even
now
Emirati
Turkish
influence,
even
Turkish influence.
There's some
But
Turkish flags that we saw in the
historically,
city here.
this city belonged to the Sufi Sunnism. The
As
Sufi.
most of Bilad al-Sham
Yes,
were.
and you have lots of khans here. You know what the khan, that's always related to Sufi
It's
groups.
like a hostel for people traveling on the pilgrimage routes,
Yes.
housed and funded by the Sufi sects.
And-
And by the way,
and you
my
could always-
great-grandfather is Abdul Qadir al-Kilani, and
Yes.
he's the founder of the Sufi school, basically, and the Qadiri
Qadiri,
school,
yes.
Qadiriya. So
But
we know how this
I
works.
only want to add one thing. There is no way that a city that is a commercial city on the coast, with people as we saw those people, how they are welcoming tourists and welcoming visitors, and how they want their commerce and their trade and their factories to flourish. There is no way that they will accept this retarded culture of annihilism, of killing the others, destroying everything.
Isolationism.
It's acting like
And
we have
closing
no
up on the
culture,
world.
erasing all the historic background of the cities. This is what Wahhabism is doing.
Yeah.
There is no way that the people of Tripoli are going to accept this, and no matter how they will try to impose these cultures here, I can only think that the people of Tripoli are the real guarantee that this city will never be against the other
Parts of the society.
other parts of the Lebanese society.
Well, look, inshallah, there will be more investments in Tripoli. We are, again, once more outside Qalat Tarablus, the Tripoli fort. This is Laith Marouf and Hadi Hotait from Free Palestine TV. We ask you one more time to press the subscribe button on whatever social media you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this amazing coverage. And until we see you next time, we bid you all a free Palestine.